Hello everyone, and welcome to Chronological Elden Ring Invasions, where I just took 3 hours one night last week to just invade, and I put all of the invasions together in a linear fashion, and just in the order that they happened, including this one where I just spawned in and immediately got a victory screen. And so not only do you get some silly victories like that, we're going to have invasions that I don't win because not I'm not perfect. Um, but and I'm going to go through talking about the tactics and making this entertaining. And the idea is the idea of why I'm doing this is mostly just because it sounded really fun, and then also like from my last video, just like pulling the veil back a little bit and trying to make PvP as accessible to as many players as possible. And like highlight reels are wonderful. I love invasion highlight reels. It's every once in a while you sometimes get the feeling, dang, why am I the one getting the crummy invasions? Well, sometimes we get the crummy invasions too, and you'll get to see those. Um, and sometimes it is easy to get hung up on when you make a mistake and things don't go so well. And honestly, going through all of this made me feel better because like there were one or a couple of invasions where I was just like, dang, I really could have done better. And just seeing this and seeing all of the cool stuff that I did and being able to talk about it is just is nice. So I'm just going to do my best to make all of these as entertaining as possible and discussing strategy and pointing out some things where I could have done better. Um, yeah, so the build is my rune level 87 60 faith big spell build. And here in Mountaintops of the Giants Catacombs, we're fighting Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z and the host. And being one of the ones that does not go so well, explodey pots that can hurt me make this not an ideal location to go for a 1v2. And as you'll see, like, these little pots are not my friends. They are not doing as well. Although they hit the host there, like I just get pummeled. GG host and phantom, and yeah, I probably could have chose a better spot to try and engage there, but it is what it is. Now here we are in Farah Missoula, and I am gonna run a little bit of stats at the end and just do like a little bit of like very coarse grain analysis of how things are going. So the first one, because I didn't actively participate in the combat, I'm calling that one like null, or is just like an extra like miscellaneous connection but not significant combat. And any of the invasions where I actively participate, I'm going to calculate wins and losses. Like I said, there's not I think there's 31 invasions with significant combat in this video. um, and like I said, I'm just going to be doing a coarse grain analysis. I'm not going to try and sell that this is the best build or how well it's functioning relative to other things. We're just going to enjoy pyromancies, um, gravity shenanigans, and just silly things happening. Um, yeah, the Beastmen of Fair Missoula are really powerful enemies to have help out, especially the guy with the great sword down here, and he actually got the host before I did. Um, but yeah, that one I still felt I didn't significantly contribute because I did explode one of the phantoms, making it more difficult for them to traverse the level. Here I mostly just turn around and throw a fireball while I have iframes, just to make sure that I can create some space and get the lay of the land in the capital, see which knights are available for helping me out. And seeing that there isn't anyone down there, I head up the ladder and work my way over here. Um, and if you've seen my videos before, you can absolutely take a guess what is going to happen. Um, Unfortunately for the host, they have a blue summoned in the world. Now you might be thinking, Mithril, isn't that bad for you? You would normally be correct. However, the blue prevents the host from sliding down the ladder out of fireball range. So, GG guys, that ladder is very dangerous. Do not use that ladder. In here, I just found a random dude trying to do some TT. Like, props to this guy. I have no idea what was going on in the world, so of course, like, I'm just like, oh, the host is right there, I'm going in swinging, and this poor guy is just getting pelted with ballista, and I said, I don't blame him for attacking me there, and he's armored up for poise, and I'm just like, please, have a warming stone, heal up, you're by yourself getting attacked by ballista. Going through this one, I'm just like, we're gonna be nice. We're gonna have a nice fight. I don't want you to, since you're very clearly by yourself. I did not want this guy to just like get annihilated by ballista. That sometimes the we sometimes invaders do have hearts. I don't know why. Like, Bloodflame Blade is a really good buff, but I don't know why he's using it on a whip that doesn't have any innate bleed. Like, Haslow's Petal Whip or the Thorn Whip would be much more effective with that, but it's still a really good buff to have, especially if you're just fighting a bunch of PvE too. So seeing that I'm not taking a ton of damage, and this guy's trying to do his hard swaps and stuff, like, I applaud this guy for just trying and doing the TT run and just like learning. So I mess around a little bit, and I'm gonna just practice using some lightning perfumes, which actually do have a very significant play come into play later. And it's very strange why that ash didn't do a ton of damage. It's probably because it was unupgraded. But yeah, good luck on your Tanner's run, dude. Just keep at it. And now we are back to Farum Azula, and we are in the Lightning Chapel room, or at least that I like to call it, right before the elevator up to the last site of grace before Malakath. With the water, all of the lightning beastmen do extra damage. My pyromancies don't do as much damage, but these lightning guys just absolutely can carry. And I want them involved in the fight. I don't really want to just go out there and fight a 2v1, potentially 3v1. So once these guys are more involved, I am absolutely more willing to go in. I'm right there. I was looking to see if I had Holy Ground, which would heal and increase the defense of any beastmen standing in it. And that would be very silly if I could increase the defense of like one of the lightning ones, because and heal them up. Just very useful. And these guys are basically running both bleed setups. I don't know if it's like an occult katana or if it's just like a keen katana, but they've got a whole lot of bleed, innate bleed. So having boluses in your pouch is very useful, and also again the robustness +2 talisman. And here I actually just Erdtree heal and try and save that beast man, because like I said, the curved greatsword beastmen are great. They're like banished knights. They're like best friends in terms of invasion NPCs. They don't hit you. They just do a lot. They're just endure and chug. Yeah, just keeping that guy alive is a big help, and he takes care of the host. So Erdtree heal coming in big, and then I get to knife the friend. GG guys, that was a very fun, chaotic one, and I appreciate you moving into the room and not having it just be an infinite standoff. And as always, I hate dragons. Not because dragons aren't cool, these bosses are very cool to fight, but as an invader, I hate dragons because they can hit me, and they're stupid, and they have giant AoE attacks and that hit me and not the host. So I get very, well, I probably sound more tilted about this clip than I actually am, because I completely understand that dragons do that, and I probably should have been paying better attention, and I was also just getting a little bit overzealous going after this guy. Like, I just felt like I was doing great being mean with a hand axe, and then I just get smashed, and then there's a magma worm coming this way, and I just get stomped on and immediately killed. Like, I should not have. I should have been paying better attention. I should have been better about dividing my attention about where the boss and the other phantom were during that fight. But GG guys, I hope you annihilated the dragon. Now, I like this guy. This guy is using the Golem Halberd, which is a colossal weapon. So he's got, I think, one of the Crucible armors on. I don't know what the rest of the set is, but this guy's got a good amount of poise and hyper armor. So, and he's just by himself, solo TT, no rune arc. Yeah, he absolutely punished me for that, but thankfully I can use the Asher Ward to get him off of me. Here I go for Mesmer's Orb to try and be a little cheeky and bust through the gravestone. However, the uncharged version was not it didn't go far enough. And the one-handed heavy attacks don't really do enough poise damage or damage to like keep him off. So I am going to do a quick weapon swap over. I'm actually going to grab this whip, so I do a really good job of outspacing after getting hit there, and just keeping this guy on his toes with a combination of spells and just hitting him outside of the hyper armor to get staggers, and then trying to go for like roll catches and things like that. Yeah, this was kind of just like an out of nowhere choice where I'm just like, you know what I need to do? Use my fire whip. But yeah, this guy he's doing like the olden like he got solo invaded playthrough, and this was just such a fun fight. And Sacred Blade, I don't know if he's doing like the faith setup for it or if it's just a strength setup with Sacred Blade. Both are just really strong, and it is, like I said, this fight was just a ton of fun. And looking at the clip stuff, it does go on for a little bit just because we've got a lot of, I was gonna say Estus because I've been watching some Dark Souls 2 highlights from Dark Souls builds and cosplays who beat me to the showing losses highlights in one of their latest videos. So go check them out because they're really cool, and they have a incredibly huge variety of builds and are very knowledgeable about a lot of the From Software titles, Dark Souls 2 especially. But as this fight comes to a close, the big thing to remember is I have a spell casting tool. And I understand eating crab, but I do mostly elemental damage, so even if he did eat the crab, he's probably not going to be getting that significant of a damage reduction from me. Like, I don't blame him, because a lot of people run strength decks or physical arcane builds, so again, don't blame him, but just pointing out that in this scenario, crab is pretty useless because my whip is doing mostly fire damage, and this very last finisher is because I have a giant fireball out of nowhere. Not really out of nowhere, but you know what I mean. It was a very big mix-up, so he gets the point up because he was cool and chill. GG guy, and good luck on your TT run. Dragon Barrow Cave. If you can catch the host before they go down into this area, it's great because you have a rune bear. If you don't get the host before they pass the rune bear, you kind of just gotta throw fireballs and pray with this build because it's very tight down there, and you could very easily just get blendered because there's not really anywhere to go. But thankfully, I ended up making it out of there. So now here I have 3 dudes in presumably new game Fingerfolk Hero's Grave, because this thing does not do, the chariots don't do a ton of damage. So there is a phantom whose level is unknown, and they are just basically throwing giant bubbles, and I guess they're trying to use the Viper Claws. Oh, they're doing Frost Viper Claws. Okay, so I think that they're probably over-leveled since they're using the giant tuba, and then late, like at the very end of this clip, they just start spamming Comet, which I don't know why they don't do a lot earlier. So here at this point, the host actually slips away to go bust the chariot, and I don't notice, because I'm going to just get bashed with a chariot, and maybe not right here, but soon the host is going to slip away. But here I can use the giant fireballs to bust up those little doorways. And yeah, you see, like, I have a physical defense drop, and I'm like, that didn't do half my health, and I like didn't really notice the damage part there. So the host is now in a separate part of the level. The blue kind of followed, but is not going, didn't know how to go down there. Yeah, and to navigate, I have endure hand axe to make sure I don't get stunned in these little rooms, and just the sacred hand axe does a lot of really good damage and good poise damage, and then Raptors of the Mist dagger for the chariot to help evade the chariots. And now that both of them are here, I'm going to do something similar, except instead of going to the hidden area, which I think is just like pull to the right and go through a hallway, I just keep running, because I also had no idea where the host went, so I just ran down here going, what's going on? And again, Erd Tree Heal is just an insanely good tool. It's not really, without extra cast speed, I would say it is generally not active combat effective. But outside of combat, it will absolutely heal you for more than an Estus Flask. Maybe not like a Robe Talisman combined boosted Estus Flask at this particular weapon level, but like Erd Tree Heal for me is usually, like, on these high faith builds, has generally just been like a complete total full heal. So being able to, again, conserve flasks that I can more actively use in combat is great. And since I have the Blue Blessed Dew Talisman, I'm able to get all of my FP back over time, because I don't have any mind investment besides base. There, I see that the chariot got blown up very clearly, so I know that the host is going to be on the way. and in doing so I'm going to change up equipment. But I'm not going to really move from this spot because this is my best bet of killing in a 1v2. And that is because gravity. Um, and I understand Flame Strike is strong, but this guy was very adamant about pre-buffing his scythe and spamming L2 and just died. And you see, here's the comet spam, and I'm wondering why they didn't do that sooner, because that did way more damage than the bubble. So, yeah, that was navigating a starting area. Well, I guess with the chariots and gravity it helped. But, yeah, that one was not easy to pull off. And here we have Borealis, at least the dragon that would kill everyone if something very silly wasn't going to happen. Whenever I spawn like behind the site of grace in the summoning pool, I swap over to the concealing veil, so that way I can at least navigate to this side of the map to get by the lobsters if the hosts or the host and phantoms are very unaware, or at least get to the mist for the Borealis fight. And so I'm waiting a little bit because I want to make sure I don't get hit by the initial cold mist blast, because Borealis, if in new game, he will kill you. In new game plus, he'll kill you twice. And I have Miquella's Rings of Light. Ash of War is just my inexpensive ranged FP spam. And the host starts running. As you can see, they're running in place. Borealis stops moving. They're stuttering along. And they just keep running. And that's because they have no intention of fighting and no intention of finishing this boss. Yeah, connection error occurred. And this I'm counting in the... and though it's not a true win, because I did not get the victory rune arc screen, because I was in combat and caused the host to flee, I call that as a win in entertainment value, so that one gets counted in the win bracket. So technically that in the first invasion, if you're counting like just rune arcs obtained, you could just flop them and it doesn't really affect the count. Or like one or two invasions having weird classifications out of a pool of 31 isn't really affecting the rates all that much at the end in terms of the statistical analysis, or at least I don't think that it does. And here's two guys who are just a little bit reluctant to go fight Siluria and all the other Mausoleum Knights. They don't have, the host doesn't have a ton of health, so I don't blame them. And the Phantom is playing the white mask bleed game, so it is tough to get close because there's a very dangerous melee gamer and someone who's very apt to just spam spells at me for all eternity. But Elden Stars does its job and causes it is a giant lump of light that gets his attention for at least a little while until it runs out. And although I'm not able to really fight that long, I just wanted to show that little piece that Elden Stars does its job as just a giant ball of light to like push somebody back. And again, because of the blue blessed dew talisman, I'm not hurting on FP. As long as I manage my time well, I can just cast pretty much whatever I want. To just try and keep reminding them I am here and I will keep you off balance, and you are not going to make, and you're not going to get away with standing there in the middle of a warming stone. So, and now that since this invasion has gone on for a while, and I know that they are not very keen on moving forward, I'm just like, Alright, we are going to you start dipping into the meaner part of this build of the arsenal. Granted, I probably make Endure Hand Axe look mean with how well it does for this particular build, but what I mean is we're pulling out Midra's sword because Midra's sword is, and I'm, it is still one of my favorite weapons, not just because it's good, but because I love the jump animation. It's flashy and fun, and there's not anything else like it for leaping grab attacks. So here I'm just sneaking up to the, again using the concealing veil so I can get very close so they can't just spam spells and run away. Host is stuck on the roof. I clip them in the air, but I don't get the grab off. However, I have no idea where the phantom went, but they are definitely not where they should be next to their host. So yeah, bye guys. Good luck. Yeah, just pushing forward at an invader is one of the best things that you can do to end. And as you can see there, I forgot to alter my talismans. This was another one where I was just like, come on. Because they have, this is very early area. They've got Claws of Night. If Lock-On had worked there, I would have been in really good shape, but it didn't. I should have gone for the other tunnel because it's closer, and I would have been able to stop getting projectiled in the face. Again, and I just get a little bit overzealous. I don't exactly, because they just queued all of the mashing, and then they just light rolled away, and it was just unfortunate that I wasn't able to completely destroy them. And yeah, sad day, but you win some really good ones and you lose some where I should have tried to have found cover because they were very much keen on being aggressive and gone from there. Now here I notice not only are there not dead rats, but I saw the ritual shield talisman circle, because you can see buffs like that this through Mimic Veil. So with that, I'm using Mesmer's Orb to just leap in and have a massive AoE explosion. And I'm also start busting out the Coated Sword, which is incredible on this particular build because of the massive amount of faith, and that it being pure faith scaling and only doing holy damage. That thing just wrecks. Like back when power stance straight swords was like way more common, like dual coated swords was like a crazy meta setup. It was pretty ridiculous, and these guys are like, come walk into the room, and I'm just like, no. And also it's very useful because it can go through walls. And that was also part of, I think, why it was so common, is because the Ash of War did a ton of damage and could go through walls. Yeah. And despite the connection being very questionable, I forgot to say, I love sewer invasions. Sewer invasions are great. The omens are the best enemies that can actually hit you, because they actually aggro very well to the hosts, and generally they're not using massive AoEs like the dragons, so even though they can hit me, they generally don't kill me, and because of their massive health pool and how much damage they do to the hosts, I am very happy to fight and defend with these guys. Like, them hitting me, I take it and roll with it, and we'll figure it out. Like, that's something that I'm very much willing to work with comparative to dragons that aren't Borealis or Smaragd, because Borealis, if I die, at least the host is also probably dead, and then this guy just fell off, and yay, I scared him. But yeah, so here I've invaded the land of Samurai Miku and Juno Haslo, Knight of the Twin Moons. But to finish the thought, omens are great. They're really strong. They can't hit you, but they do their job and they don't move too fast to, like, you can actually play around them, unlike a lot of the dragons that just kill you out of nowhere because you're focusing and they can't just be on. You can't have them in the sky and the host on screen at the same time. Now here, I thought this was power stance straight swords, and boy was I wrong. um, I have not fought these very often. It's been a while, and goodness, do they output a lot of damage, and also are they way more dangerous. Like, you don't see, I just have not seen the power stance melee stuff, because usually whenever I had seen them, it's just the Ash of War spam, which in itself does a ton of damage and is pretty crazy. But oh my goodness, like, power stance light greatsword moveset is like pretty good. And just because I haven't seen it in a while, it's just like it's tough. So here I don't see the Phantom, so I just run in, go for it, see that there's not a lot of health. The Phantom also has the swords, so I'm not super paying attention. Here I probably should have gone back to aggro the Phantom or healed up. I just got overzealous and too bloodthirsty and died. And because there wasn't an Estelle bug, I should have just been more patient. But don't worry, we'll see them again later. And sometimes just something as simple as, like, I should have been more patient and waited for a better opportunity with better PvE enemies is just a way to keep things in mind and improve. And as you saw there, connect and unfortunately fog-walled, but it was a successful connection, so it's in the compilation because I included everything. Now here in Night Sacred Ground, I at least have Silver Tears doing what they're supposed to do. And I am not lying to you guys, because as you can see, there is a ton of Vulgar Militia Shodel in this, because it is my one of, if not my favorite halberd, and I thankfully pushed the host off and managed to not fall off myself, so yay. Alright, and now to the Royal Capital. So, and speaking of knowing your PvE support locations, the Death Room. This room is so lethal because of the high page and the perfumers. It is probably one of the most infamous locations, especially in a PvP scenario, where hosts and phantoms just evaporate. I know of very few other locations that are this dangerous to the lives of co-opers everywhere. Yeah, the host jumped in and it just got the host got ganked by the perfumers, by a perfumer, a high page, and the invader, and there's just no shot. There's just way too much damage. And here is another set of Taunter's Tongue guys in Liurnia. Honestly, they seem pretty chill. I was a little bit nervous because the host was kind of just like sneaking around in the grass, and also Liurnia is well, it's kind of infamous for dishonorable duelists and ganks, and also people who use a lot of lightning. So in Dragon Halberd, in the rain, in water, I am not great, but these guys seem to be doing relatively honest TT, and if I didn't have the robustness boosts, that could have very easily frostbitten me. And this guy has enough hyper armor that he's able to, like, deal with some of the wind stuff. I don't know whether the Phantom at this point is jumping in and attacking or not, so I just healed out of habit. But the Phantom is being pretty cool, and he's just letting the two of us fight, which is not necessary, but I don't think I don't know why I said it again, but it isn't necessary to do that. But these guys, it was pretty cool, and I respect them for it, for just letting the because we stopped and said hi, they were just letting this play out. Except this guy, the co-invader here, he's traitor red, big dumb idiot. These guys are gonna go murder him, and that's because he was deliberately locked on to me, either because either by mistake or by complete or you can say by choice. Either way, bad play, and he hits me at low health with an Ash of War instead of trying to space out. Like, he made the conscious decision to either not read that my name was red, and again, here are those paired light greatswords again. And my goodness, in this small area with all the AoE and range potential, and also just really good melee potential, they are kind of a nightmare to deal with, especially because this guy has so much FP he can just spam the Ashes of War. But yeah, fellow invaders in the comments, well, there's this and another point where I can just say, whether or not you thought that guy was just going after me deliberately, or he just didn't read that I had a red name with the fashion talisman and just didn't pay attention that the host was actually fighting someone. Yeah. Also, I will just say thank you everyone for support, because these are really fun, and I'm just very happy that I'm able to share all the fun with you guys. Thankfully this blue is AFK, so I have plenty of time to deal with this guy, and I think he actually finally ran out of FP as he pulled out the shield. And then again, Vulgar Militia Shodel, best halberd. Totally not biased. Or you can, and by that I mean I'm absolutely 100% biased. And now, the Shodel and also the lightning perfumes are going to come back. This guy is being blocked by the multiplayer boundary wall here, and I'm going to try and defeat him, because he sent his friend home, so it's just him. And now it is going to be the two of us fighting on this chain for a little bit. And I like this guy because, like, he's going for parries. The winged scythe has occasionally been thought of or used as like a gank weapon because it stops the use of healing flasks. So like you can, it's kind of like a yellow flag, but it's also just like Reapers are fun, and it has a fun looking Ash of War, and it's just a very good useful thing. Like Lloyd's talismans or Undead Hunter, I forget what they are in Dark Souls, but like Estus blockers are just a thing. They're just, Albinaric pots just aren't very common. If I threw that fireball forward, it probably would have knocked him off, but I've got plenty of space. Normally, you do want to try and look behind to be able to dodge projectiles, but I'm just like, I just have to eat whatever he throws at my back, because I do not want to fall off this chain. And I just had to sprint because I didn't want to slow down and be caught from the panic roll, and then I am able to make it off, and then now we're back on a fight on neutral ground. And since he's going for the parries, I pull out the perfumes because they can't be parried, and because they do pure lightning damage, they do very respectable damage. Nothing like the pre-patch rolling sparks into the ground one-shot damage, but like they do almost no poise damage, but the lightning damage they do and the area coverage is really nice. I think they're I'm gonna keep experimenting with these as an offhand weapon, because they're just, it's fun and cool. But yeah, and now with the halberd, like, he's gonna go for the parry to try and follow, but I just threw lightning perfume, which he couldn't hit at it. So like, yeah, this is really, it's really cool, and I'm a big fan of having the offhand lightning perfume just as a mix-up and good area coverage. And GG to this guy. Way to fight. Just that was fun. All right, and now it's time for some revenge. Except I have to Phantom Finger first because they spawned me in the Lake of Rot, partway across the Lake of Rot, when the Phantom and Host are up here in Noxtella. So, yay, Elden Ring spawns, and of course they have gotten blue, and I have no idea where they are. So yeah, and now here, now if you're wondering, why do I have Black Flame Tornado on a Lucerne? And that's because of what I used to defeat Melania at rune level 13. Yeah, so as a homage to that triumph, and also because it is in fact pretty good. It's not bad, it's not like crazy competitive. And there I swapped talismans back from the immunization one, and it's about here I recognize, oh yeah, it was those two. But yeah, so I went back to robustness, because it's more widely applicable, because not as many gamers run poison builds. And there, fully charged fireball to the face. If I was paying slightly better, like, I do eventually win, so I think that is probably a better safe call to just run down here, because I don't know exactly what was going on with the host, but I just saw the Phantom was at a sliver, but I was just like, I just gotta back off because two more people just came up those stairs. So I might have been able to be more ruthless because I had okay health, so I might have been able to go for them. But actually, considering that the host has the wing scythe, it was probably just the smartest thing to do to just run and not. And here I'm like, stop being bloodthirsty. I smack them to get them to create a little bit of space, but it's the smart thing to not overextend and get hit with the heal block. And there, the fireball is just to create some space so I can get closer to the ants that are up here and reposition, get my stamina back, and set up a better turn and burn than nothing at all. And you see, like, that has like a 5 or 6 attack combo in it. Like, it's crazy for the paired twin swords. And yeah, Black Flame Tornado, probably individually, that isn't gravity, the thing that hits the strongest without any like talisman swaps or anything else. Like with swaps, with the crit boosting talisman, maybe Midra's sword does more on an Ash of War, but a full spun Black Flame Tornado, just the damage is insane. And now here we have a dishonorable chugging duelist. And yes, the Academy, like, this is one of the infamous spots. Like, back in ye olden days, there were people who would use Torrent to get up on the roof and then sit up on the roof with the Concealing Veil Talisman with blues on just to be annoying, etc. Like, you don't trust duelists in Liurnia. Just easy, already chugging. No, however, again, I have the Robustness Talisman. I think they're using I don't know which knife they're using, but it has innate bleed, but then they also put frost on it, so they're trying to go for the double status procs. The hat, besides being, yeah, as you can see, combination frost and bleed. Crucible Wings on the halberd is not bad. It does not connect as easily with like the Fire Knight's greatsword though. Like the colossal swords, just because they're bigger, they have like I think like just they have just enough more of a hitbox that they're able to like catch people a little easier. And this person learns very quickly that faith casters also have some very spammy stuff that they can cast, but they are on the roof, so. But yeah, even though they have a really good frost buildup, like nothing. And honestly, their Swift Glintstone Shard didn't even do that much, so I'm curious to know what their weapon upgrades were, because they had a lot of int, because they were able to cast Stars of can be dodged by strafing now. Yeah. Bye. Yeah, Liurnia invasions are just very, if you've been invading for a long time in Elden Ring, you, you, you're very cautious of them being a mixed bag. And here, I just, knowing that there are not any, dudes here where there normally are and that the boss door was open, I knew I had to just go hard to try and get these guys to either die or get distracted. I should not have gone for the host. I absolutely should have healed. Again, if I should have healed, gone to that staircase and blocked it so they had to deal with the rot. That is the better strategy that I should have done than I did in the moment. But now here, so despite being in Liurnia, I have had good experiences with this catacombs. I forgot which one it is because I clipped it out because there was just a lot of running at the beginning of this one. But the omens in the basement do some decent damage, and there's enough traps, ladders, and like places where you can like squiggle around that you're able to like play the corner game really, like if you play the corner game well, you can still like pull off some really nice things. And here, normally I would say like if I get hit with a Moonveil heavy Ash of War, I would immediately try and drop down and run away, but that did not do a lot of damage. And now here there's going to be another little cut because they need some encouragement to come down. I don't think that they realize that you can safely fall here because in a lot of other catacombs, it is not a safe fall. Not that it's perfectly safe because there's an invader and omen down here, but it's not instant death. So I had to go around, climb up the ladder, and use a fireball to encourage them to come down here. I think the one phantom doesn't come down here. The host jumps down to try and save his friend and then ends up dying because of it. GG guys. And yeah, I think this one is, I believe, the last non-combat send me home of this particular sweep. But now here we're back at frog defense. The blood frogs are very strong. I love defending the blood frogs. But this phantom is also very much out for blood, and the combination of just Ashes of War plus magic, I'm just like, all right, run back to the Frogos, make sure that I'm very safe. But I guess what I was saying about the Phantom is they have one of those interesting, slightly variably latent connections where it looks like that they are, yeah, as you can see, they're jumping around a little bit. So, yeah, Star Shower is honestly just better than Stars of Ruin in PvP at this point because you can't strafe Star Shower where you can run strafe Stars of Ruin. Honestly, Stars of Ruin needed the nerf, like, not complaining about the change, just poking fun at it, and also pointing out that Black Flame Tornado is amazing, and do not panic roll out of it. You will get caught and hit for a ton of damage. And then Froggo with the assist here is just, yeah, never underestimate the blood frogs. They are also amazing, amazing teammates. And also the public service invader announcement, um, don't sit at low health. Actually, no, that took out like 2/3 of their health. Well, one, you shouldn't sit at low health. Two, having low health is very dangerous. So the good old main academy gate, where if you're summoned as a duelist, great, probably like the old dueling grounds before the arena. If you invade here, it is hit and miss between people doing honest Tanner's tongue, and dedicated ganks. And here I'm in the playback, I confirmed it that the Phantom just kind of like teleports and disappears out of nowhere. These guys seem to be doing pretty honest TT. Like, they move in, they attack. Tanner's tongue is on. They don't try and like make it so that I'm the only invader here. But I have a very silly plan, because there is and that guy has really good claymore spacing to just like be able to turn around and do that. But knowing that the enemy support, at least for a little while, is not great, I know that there's a giant hole here, and I have Troll's Roar on this greatsword. And I think like these guys are just chill Tanner's tongue guys, because he just like stopped to bow for that. So GG, good luck on your Tanner's tongue run. I think the Phantom must have thought that that was pretty hilarious, because the host just got knocked into the elevator pit. Oh man. And then there's this invasion. There's a little bit of just like me throwing fireballs in their general direction, because they weren't necessarily around anybody. I probably would have, like, I don't know whether or not the Phantom is going to be participating or not at this point. And the host knows what they're doing and has a lot of heals, and they have good health and everything, and also they have lightning weapons in the rain. And eventually they're going to be switching to power stance, lightning, straight swords. And this invasion, oh man, this one was just disheartening, because I felt like I played really well, or I was doing my best to play really well, and in the end, I just eventually get outplayed because of the Radigan Source Seal and Lightning having like the lowest base resistance, like flat resistance out of all of the damage types in the game, plus the rain boost is just, it was uphill, especially because pyromancies, and like the Phantom is standing close by, and like I don't, like when the Phantom is standing that close, it is absolutely very intimidating. And this was later on in the night, so I'm just, and it's been a long time since I fought power stance straight swords. I think once they became not meta anymore, a lot of people just abandoned them. It's still really strong, so I'm not exactly sure why. And these guys decided to fight before I got up to, yeah, there I probably should have, like, tried to pursue more of, I think it's Lanisax, Lightning Dragon that probably would kill me because he sucks. And I don't just hate him because he was in major pain when I was trying to do a war pick only run. Definitely not biased from that. But yeah, so I just felt like I wasn't hitting very well with Halberd, or like getting him into kill range. So eventually I'm gonna try and swap for a Flamberge, and that's just gonna get me killed. It just, this one, like I said, I don't know if there was a ton that I was doing wrong, or if it was just because I wasn't used to it and I was at a disadvantage, or maybe there were a few points where I could have pushed the aggression a little bit better, used mix-ups better, or done something. Um, but honestly, I think I probably should have just stuck with the halberd a little bit more, or maybe tried to use some of the crouch attacks when he was trying to just like strafe or run around. When he was trying to like run around my hits, like I was just upset that about this invasion, because it just like I think these guys were just doing an honest playthrough, especially with the Phantom presumably probably being over leveled and just sitting back and being like, yeah, you need to you need to fight your own battles against the invader. And here I'm also just really mad that Piercing Fang didn't connect. And I probably could have used the Flamberge heavy attacks more to, or I should have swapped off of the Robustness Talisman because it wasn't doing anything for me. Like, this was a loss from little things. And there, like, I wish Piercing Fang had hit, or it felt like it should have hit. That one is just, I was so salty, like, I almost wanted to not make the compilation because of how bad I felt about that one particular invasion. And then I get this one, where I'm just like, alright, we're in Noxtella, trying to have a clear head, try and have things be fresh, and then they see me, and the first thing they start doing is running towards the site of grace. Like, I'm just like... And of course, they immediately get a hunter as well. So it's a 1v3. I know that they have hunters on, so it's going to be more timed. And they just run back to where there are no enemies. So I'm peeved at this point. Because I've been invading for a while. And they're just like, no, we're not going to play the level. They do go fight the ants and do start kind of moving, but at this point, I'm just like, of course, just that one particular lightning straight sword invasion into the host running away. I'm at the moment not happy. So we are going to swap around to the ballista, and we are gonna start shooting these guys until they well, actually, until the Phantom just dies to the ants. And I'm gonna move down and reposition and just start shooting ballista at them until they want to play the level. Because, like, during all this stuff, like, this is about as close as you can probably get without it being like an actual live stream of what goes on in an invader's head while they're invading just continuously as they go throughout the night. So like I said, I'm not happy with them running back, so I'm using the crit boost talisman and Midra's greatsword, because I'm just like, alright, this host is going to get ended. I am going to try and throw this fireball into the wall to get them to get knocked off the ledge. Though the idea to get them knocked off the ledge doesn't work, this works perfectly. Goodbye, Tomo. I know you didn't live through Sekiro either, so I guess canonical ending. So after that, I was just like, alright, back in the groove, early catacomb. I'm gonna see if these guys want to try and play and fight, but unfortunately they don't. So this one I'm counting as a loss because they send me home when I was not able to defend the fog wall. They got their third cooperator, and then the host just booked it to the fog wall. So this one I'm just like, dang it. They didn't want to try and chase me through the level. And then now here we come to the last invasion of Weeping Peninsula Taunter's Tongue. I don't know that it is Taunter's Tongue at this point. Right now I just know that these are two dudes, one of which, and they are very much keen on killing me versus saying hello. Um, and I was paying very close attention, and no, since that wasn't a golem arrow, I am like much more comfortable just like staying in bow range and also not using the concealing veil to try and like wait out to like Castle Morn or something. I'm very much more willing to fight these guys in the field, although it's probably not necessarily the smartest thing to do. Like, I am perfectly happy baiting out all of these guys as arrows and just seeing like how far can I get them to move. Like, their best bet as co-opers would have just been continue to push wherever they were going with melee stuff and just go in hard with it. Like, arrow, like, because of um bestial vitality and the blue blessed do talisman, their arrows, like, they're not doing enough damage. Like, there is, with the bows alone, they do not, if I'm paying attention and not being cheeky, there's no way that they were going to use arrows. But I got a co-invader. So now, as you can guess, like, the co-invader knows what's up, and also they are a poison rot build, so good for them. I do underestimate the hyper armor on the startup and take a ton of damage. If they went for running heavy attacks there, I probably would have been in a way much more danger, but they let me get back up to full health. The my co-invader is absolutely bullying the host. I'm holding my own. But yeah, the host is absolutely getting wrecked. And you see, like, it seems like aspects of the Crucible Wings is always just like a little short. Actually, no, he just dodged behind, but it feels like it's genuinely short. And knowing that we're getting close together, I run up over here, poke the host, and also cover my co-invader's back, because I think that is one of my strengths, is just navigating the chaos and making the 2v2 an actual 2v2 like here, and just poking them to death. Again, invaders, I don't know why my co-invader starts attacking me. I don't know if he's just being cheeky or if he was upset that I kill stole, but I just thought that was a good play. So yeah, that was 3 hours worth of invasions, and just here are the stats. 22 wins, 9 losses, 31 invasions with significant combat. So that gets at about a 70-ish% win rate, and the coarse grain analysis of that is at rune level 87, there's really good activity with about 90% of invasions having significant levels of combat involved in them for like 35 connections over 3 hours. So that's like 10 to 12 invasions per hour, and with like 3 to 5 minute invasions, like, that's really good activity. And in terms of analysis, I think, like, obviously there can always be fine-tuning and improvement, but this build is a significant threat to hosts. My playstyle meshes well with it, and it's working really well. So yeah, that's a look into invasions. If you enjoyed this format, please let me know. It was fun to make, but I'm not planning on like abandoning more traditional highlight reels. But if you guys really enjoy this style, or want to see it potentially for a different build, let me know. Thank you all so much for your time. I know this was like an hour invasion video. Yeah, seriously, thank you. I appreciate all of your time and support. Have an absolutely wonderful day, and if you are a fellow invader, good hunting. I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.